Hey guys, I'm a Forester here with a quick update on a knife modification project that I started probably back in the spring or early summer, and this is November now, so I'm really overdue to finish this project. I made a lot of progress early on because I had the specialized equipment to get the work done. I was polishing the blade. I wanted to put a satin finish on it. I wanted to round the spine of the blade, which took a little bit of work, but I used my Wicked Edge to get that done in fairly short order. I polished the bushings, and then I wanted to cut out some new handle scales for the knife, and I wanted to cut those out of some walnut that I had that my granddad had cut many years ago, probably half a decade ago. I got that cut out fairly easily with the help of a friend, and then I began the job of fitting them to the knife frame and then sanding them down to fit. And then the hardest part of the whole project was drilling the holes to match. Now, I don't have any specialized equipment to do that, and so I was having to do it by hand, and the project came to a screeching halt at that point. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you exactly where this project lies. Alright, can you spot the project in all this mess? This is my pool table, and needless to say, I haven't been playing pool very much lately. It's become a work table for my wife and I. We often kid that we're like the Beverly Hillbillies. If you remember that old show where they moved into the mansion and had a pool table, they thought it was their fancy dining room table. Well, this is our workbench. Here's the project right here, and this is exactly as it lies the last time I worked on it. But here's the blade, and I'll try to give you a close-up of that. I'm very pleased with the way the spine rounded, and I put a satin finish on the blade. And I also polished here where the bushings will go so that it'll slide a little more freely. Okay, and here's the knife itself minus the blade. I cut out, and one side is more finished than the other. And I can't tell through the viewfinder. I think this side over here is the one that's more finished. So look at the side that's more finished, and you can tell that everything matches up well. But then the other side, you can tell I still haven't sanded it down to match. I did get a Dremel tool because I was doing it all by hand, and it took a lot of time. See, there's a good bit more I have to take off there, but that side should be pretty good. Now the hard part is drilling all these holes, because there's 4 holes right here. There's one, there's one, there's one. So there's at least 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes that had to be drilled, and they all have to match up on both sides. Now you might think I've got it perfect, but I really screwed this thing up, and I'll show you why. Okay, there are, maybe it's not that one. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but there's a very fine countersink on this screw right here. And it's so fine, I didn't have a drill press to cut these out with, so I had to do them by hand. These have a countersunk, and I don't have any way to do that by hand. Even if I had a drill press, it would be hard to drill all these holes precisely. And if they're off just by a fraction of an inch, then this thing doesn't go together well. I knew that was going to be the hardest part of the whole project. I did a pretty good job of it, but I messed up on this one right here. I'll give you a close-up. Can you tell where I messed up? I tried to countersink it by hand, and you just can't do it. It's impossible. And I went too deep. I'm hoping I can overcome that. And I want to finish this project. Let me lay this out as the knife would be. That's roughly how it would look. But I also need to treat the wood to stabilize it and put a finish on it. And I'm going to run some video showing me drilling the holes, and what I ended up having to do was use this file right here and hand file each one of these holes to get it precisely in place, because I couldn't use the drill to do it by hand. So it was a very time-consuming project. And it's a wonder I hadn't lost some of these parts. I tell you, they've been here on the table for a long time. I'll run some of the clips to show you some of the handwork, and then I'll get back to you later. Hopefully I'll finish this by the end of the year.